this week on the Bubble Chat.
And I think that's what this mother is trying to show to her son. Like, you don't have to, like, go on a real field trip.
And I think that they were such a total, like, incredible team.
I would never dream of saying that to a Jewish person. But yet and still throughout my life, they was like, you were never a slave.
Because I'm going to that concert. If I got to get a job at the stadium where she's performing just to be in the building.
She doesn't want to hear unmarried people who never been married say they want to be married. If I hear you saying the N-word, I am going to check you. I don't care if you're rapping a song. You don't get to say that in my presence.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bubble Chat. We hope everyone is having a good day and are ready for us to spill a lot of tea. But before we do, we just want to take a moment and wish everyone a very happy Black History Month. This will be our very first time celebrating Black History Month in the Bubble Chat. Now, although Black History Month should be celebrated every day of the year, we still acknowledge the fact that we have been given February such as any other holiday. For example, December, we got Christmas. November, we have Thanksgiving. October, we got Halloween. And February is Valentine's Day. So what better month to celebrate Black History Month, such as the month of love? There are so many Black figures today to celebrate that we will continue to remember and honor them every episode of this month.
Yes. So we're going to get to our topic soon, but we also want to take a moment to use our platform to mention that we have been aware of what happened to Tyre Nichols. On January 7th, Tyre Nichols was brutally beaten by 5 Memphis police officers, after which he was being hospitalized and tragically lost his life 3 days later on January 27th. Footage has been released by the Memphis Police Department. Protesters took the streets this past weekend to denounce police brutality after the video's release. We will discuss more about it next week, but once again, we wanted to let you know that we are aware of what happened, and of course, our thoughts and prayers are with Tyre's family and others affected. With that being said, let's get to today's topics.
Up first, a mother on TikTok named Amber Oakes has decided to make up for all the lost time for her son. Because she was unable to afford her son Noah's class trip to SeaWorld. According to Your Tango, Amber decided that she would give her son an alternative field trip by doing a popular trend where she would hold up 2 cards consisting on fun activities and let him pick an activity to do. After the video has been viewed over 9.1 million times, a SeaWorld Orlando representative sent Amber an email claiming that they want to help Amber make more amazing memories with her family and surprise her son with a trip to, guess where? To visit SeaWorld. To experience the park as a family together. Guys, what are your thoughts? This is so beautiful to me. What are your thoughts on how this mother was awarded?
I thought it was really a blessing, I really, really think this mom has been doing everything in her power to make her son feel happy. And, I just love the video so much. And it really just shows you that it's not about what you have, it's about what you make out of what you have. And I think that's what this mother is trying to show to her son. Like, you don't have to go on a real field trip. You can make one yourself.
Yes. Do you have any memories, Joanne, that I did for you?
Do I have any memories?
I'll wait.
I would say that I remember when I was a former drummer, you took me to Guitar City for my birthday, and then you took me to the movie theater by myself. And to be honest, that was the first time I ever went on a movie by myself, when I was like turning 13. So yeah, I did remember that.
Okay, that's a good one. You don't really want to pick up those drums again?
Well,
You are so talented.
I mean, if I would, it would probably be just for fun, and not like career wise.
Yeah, okay.
Any thoughts on this?
Yay, SeaWorld. I think that in the day and age where a lot of social media focuses on the negative,
Mm-hmm.
I love it that people saw this woman, saw an aspect of her motherhood and how she was trying to, instead of her son feeling left out, she created an event or exercise and that they could have fun in other ways. So I commend her for just, not saying I can't afford it and let that be it. She turned it into a learning moment and an opportunity, and millions of people saw it. And someone from SeaWorld saw it, and now her son is not going to be left out. He actually is going to go and have that experience with his family. So, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think this video reminded me of the time when we were in 2020 and we were all locked down. I remember when I was in the advocate at Contra Costa College, where and during that time, all the events were canceled and postponed because of the pandemic, and I remember it affecting a lot of high school seniors who were looking forward to graduate. So I was talking to a friend of mine about it when I was writing the paper, and then she told me that she wanted to try to make something up for the high school seniors, because they couldn't go to grad night, they couldn't go to prom, they couldn't go to any senior events because of the pandemic. Like they were like trying to make an event where seniors can be remembered for all the hard work they put in, because they didn't put in the hard work for nothing. And to see how much we made up during then, it became like a trend. Everyone started to like really get through this pandemic together, and kind of like what we just did, and I'm just really grateful that this mother has done everything in her power to make up for the lost time for her beautiful son.
Yes. Speaking of negativity, I do have to say that I was one of those people, and I still am, that when the pandemic happened and people were complaining about there isn't a prom and there isn't this and there isn't a graduation, they're not going to walk across the stage, yada yada yada, I was like, wow, there's a whole world, and there's mothers who are no fault of their own, can't feed their children, watching their children die. There's people who are sick who can't get medical care. There's homeless. You got a whole roof over your head, and your biggest gripe is that there's a disease. There's an illness that can cause death to a lot of people. And you can't go to your prom, and you can't walk across the stage.
You can't even go to a movie theater at that time.
Yeah, but
But how blessed are the ones who survived it?
Well,
right.
Yeah, how blessed are the ones who survived it. But what I'm saying is, I wasn't one of those who, I didn't hear the strings of violins playing when people couldn't walk across the stage, or didn't get to go to prom, because at the end of the day, there's a bigger picture. There's a world out there, and you have a roof over your head. You're still alive. You're still breathing. I personally lost 4 relatives to COVID, and so that's what I'm trying to say. And
Yeah,
I just want to
I remember.
that aspect of it. I just want to bring that aspect of it, is that you know, you still get to hopefully you still get to hug your parents.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff. You didn't get to go to prom.
Mhm.
I mean, I did have a good time at my first prom. My second prom was sucky. So, you might have just saved yourself from a bad time.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember trying to realize the gratefulness of what we actually have. A few months after 2020 was about to come to a close, we're in November, and I was like, I got to get myself out of this back in May, and because I think I told this story in the bubble chat before when I dealt with a lot of depression and a lot of anxiety, because COVID started ruining everything, and I was like, and I had my moments. I was in the and COVID and the lockdown were not the main events that led me to depression. What also led me to depression is when is one of the other events, when Kobe Bryant and his daughter passed away. And after thinking about it for a while, it made me realize how short and fragile life is and how we shouldn't take anything for granted. It's just continuing to tell your loved ones that you love them while they're still on this earth, because you never know their last breath. You never know their last hour. You never know their last day on this earth.
You don't.
Amen.
Any final thoughts?
I just think that I'm definitely an imperfect human, far from perfect, but I think we should be grateful for waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
And shout out to all the mothers who make it happen no matter what the father is doing.
Right.
Whether he's
and shout out to all the dads who are making it happen without the mothers.
Yeah, shout out to the dads as well. And the only reason why I said
shout out to the parents who are co-parenting, even though they don't broke up, and they both are handling their business. Shout out to you. You don't get enough props.
And the guardians as well.
And the what?
The guardians,
Yeah, everybody who handling their business. Shout out to you. We appreciate you.
Total shout out.
Yes. All right. This next story, honestly, truly breaks my heart, and I'm pretty sure it breaks everyone's heart to hear that the social media community has sadly lost a beloved legend. On January 25th, 2022, the news broke that the father of TikTok comedy duos Anki Boys, Randy Gonzalez, has tragically passed away from stage 4 colon cancer, which was less than a year after announcing his diagnosis. Randy was 35 years old. According to People, Randy revealed his diagnosis last April and that he was given 2 to 3 years to live with a possibility of 5 years of chemotherapy. The son of the comedy duo, Bryce Gonzalez, included a heartbreaking message on his statement on Instagram, quote, "I wish I could hug you and give you a kiss one more time, Dad, but I know you will be watching over me, Mom, and the girls. Until I see you again, Dad, I promise to make you proud. I love you." Additionally, comedian George Lopez paid tribute to Randy on an Instagram, writing, quote, "My sincerest condolences to Bryce and the entire Gonzalez family. The love and the bond Randy had for his son and his family was undeniable. You can see it in every video. He will be missed, but never forgotten. My heart goes out to the entire family." Bryce Gonzalez was being cast in an NBC sitcom, Lopez vs. Lopez. Guys, this is honestly devastating. What are your guys' thoughts on the tragic news?
I was definitely in shock because I never knew he was sick. And I think that they were such a total, incredible team. And his son is just a brilliant genius. I mean, the way he would recite those different sketches, I think that he was born to do it. And his dad, his dad was really in his life at a prime time. And now I hear that he's actually acting, and that's a big deal. And it's just devastating. Anytime you lose someone in your family, definitely is devastating. And especially a child so young, to lose a dad and he's not even 40 years old yet. That is devastating. The blessing is he was able to do a lot before he left this earth, and he gave his son a lot to live for and his family. So, God bless them. And, my heart goes out to the whole family. The blessing, the fact that he was such an incredible father, and he did what he was supposed to do before he left here. So, the legend forever.
Yeah, and I've been seeing so many people who lost their life from many types of cancer very quick. According to the CDC, in 2020, there were 602,350 cancer deaths, as 284,619 were among females and 317,731 among males. The National Library of Medicine claimed that this year there are 1,958,310 new cancer cases, and additionally 609,820 cancer deaths are projected to happen in the United States. So why do you think this illness just takes lives pretty easily?
Well, I think that cancer has always been around, but nowadays, the stuff that's in the air these days, all the chemicals and the foods and stress, it's just so much other, so many other, I forgot what you call it. In other words, is so many ways to catch cancer these days, and it's in our foods, it's in the water, it's in the atmosphere.
And relaxers.
Yes, chemicals. There's a lot of things, and then when you are, we are so sad that these days we are more stressed than we ever been.
Right. I remember I was on the phone with my dad. He basically told me of how he had cancer back when I was young. I think I was like around 8 around that time. And then we were all living in a hospital room while he was I think he was going through chemotherapy, and then he became cancer free. So, and he's about to turn 50 next week, or in a couple of weeks. But like, I didn't even know why he was ill until he told me, and I'm just, just like I said, you never take your loved ones for granted. I'm really, really blessed. I'm really, really blessed that he survived that cancer and made it to the fact that he's about to turn 50 years old. And and I feel like there is a saying that not everyone will always successfully win a cancer battle, but for the ones who did beat cancer, we never forget the ones that we didn't.
True.
And
I wanted you to speak. This is pretty much, I don't know if I should mention it on the podcast, but whatever. He is, he's smoking those cigars. And I just don't think he should. You might want to have a little talk with him.
Yeah, probably. And this little guy, Bryce, he may take time to heal from his father's passing, but I know in my heart that he will make him proud, and I know that Randy's legacy will forever carry on.
Yeah, and the little boy, isn't he acting now like on a sitcom or something, or is it a movie?
It was a sitcom. It's a sitcom.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
If you would like to help the Inky Boys, Cash App will be linked in the description to help with memorial fees and support for the Gonzalez family. On behalf of the Bubble Chat, our prayers and deepest condolences go out to Randy's family, loved ones, and others affected by this tragic loss. Up next, to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the beginning of slavery in the United States back in 2019, journalist Nikole Hannah-Jones released the 1619 Project in the pages of the New York Times Magazine, according to an article from D23, about the ongoing initiatives that aim to reframe the country's history by placing the consequences of slavery, in addition to the African American contributions, at the center of the narrative. The project has been expanded into a limited docu-series. Nikole claimed this is the story of America. That's our argument. You can't understand the history of America without understanding the story of slavery and Black Americans. It's really important we set the tone for what this documentary series is. Um, Definitely want to know what your thoughts are on this docuseries that Nikole is hosting, in addition to the message that Nikole wants to bring out.
Shout out to Nikole. Huge, huge, huge shout out to Nikole. She's been an amazing journalist. Whenever I first heard about her, I realized how an amazing, inspiring journalist she can be, especially since she's been educating herself of what has been going on and what's still going on. You know, and I came across an article from NPR where she said that Nikole didn't hear much about the role of Black people in the U.S. history, and she claimed that Black people are largely treated as an asterisk. I do hope I said that right. In the American story, she then started to learn about 1619 when she signed up for a Black Studies class as an elective, and she learned that it's the year that the White Lion arrived in the British colony of Virginia, which was a year before the Mayflower landed at Plymouth Rock. The White Lion was the first ship to carry enslaved Africans. So, ladies, why do you think back in the days that not many schools were educated about Black history in the U.S., as Nikole stated?
Because it was a time of straight racism, and we didn't have access to anything, and we were so controlled, and a lot of things were just hidden. You know what I mean? And finally, we gained rights to be able to speak out, to be able to study, to be able to have access to information that people did not even, a lot of things, everybody was ignorant to the fact. So back then, that's why it was like that. And, they trying to take Black history out of schools now. So it's just the ongoing.
Yeah, and we talked about this in the bubble chat before.
Yeah, it's just the ongoing fight. The good thing is, parents and grandparents have a lot of resources and books and YouTube movies and all kind of stuff where you can still educate your child even if they take it out the schools. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
So oftentimes people like to paint America as this great country, and almost this propaganda that we are a near perfect union, yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, I'm American. I've served my country. So, and I'm honored to have served my country in the military. However, I don't do that with rose-colored glasses on. When I served in the military, I definitely experienced sexism and racism. I experienced bias, gender bias, and racial bias. And what I want to go back to, now that I've said that, what I want to go back to is the fact that Hitler, who was the mastermind behind the Holocaust, the persecution, the murder, the rape, the exploitation, the attempted erasure of the Jewish people. He actually got the ideal from good old red, white, and blue America, because he studied how the American government and was trying to erase us. There's a continued erasure of us, of our contribution. I get tired. I would never tell a Jewish person who's 25 years old, who they never experienced a Holocaust. I would never look that young person, male or female, in the eye and tell them, oh, I'm tired of hearing about the Holocaust. that was so long ago and it didn't happen to you. I would never dream of saying that to a Jewish person. But yet and still throughout my life, there's like, you were never a slave. You never experienced slavery. You know, get over slavery. That was long ago. No, I'm not going to get over slavery because it was long ago. Because one, my ancestors, I belong here. I belong here because centuries ago, you stole my ancestors against their will. I don't care if you hunted them down and dragged them on that ship. I don't care if a warring tribe sold them to you. You knew that they were human, and you knew that you were going to take them from everything they knew. You stole them from their country, from their land, from their family, from their religion, from their food, from their culture, everything they knew, and you brought them to the land and you tortured them. Now, but when I say torture, because people, people want to, they want to make this, oh, so-and-so was a good plantation owner. Was there a good plantation owner?
None.
You get what I'm saying? Even if you so-called treated the people nice, let them get married, let them off on Sundays, you didn't sell their children, their children were still your property. You treated those people like cattle, like livestock. And so, again, no, I'm not going to forget about slavery.
I don't think any of us are going to.
My ancestors worked. They were beaten. Mothers had to watch their children be sold. Women were raped or bred like livestock without any choice. Men had to watch their women being raped, their children being sold off. They worked day to night, creating the wealth of the country. Let's talk about this. The wealth of this nation is on the back of blacks, of Black Americans. And I'm tired of people trying to compare our experience. They keep on talking about, and again, the suffering that the Holocaust, the Jewish community experienced was horrific. It was horrific. But sometimes I feel like there's an emphasis to try to make the Holocaust, almost try to pit ethnicities against one another to try to say, oh, the people were sent to the gas chambers. Horrific.
Absolutely horrific.
But what happened on American soil, we don't call it a Holocaust. We call it slavery. But at the end of the day, that was our own version of the Holocaust. We lost every foundation and connectivity except for our DNA from the motherland.
Absolutely.
And there was an erasure of our culture. There was erasure of our freedom and our rights as human. And there was, and there may have not been gas chambers, but there was lynching, there was murders, people were burned alive, people were whipped to death.
Raped.
We're not even talking about the countless numbers that we'll never know of all the slaves that didn't make the journey. They died on the ships. There's even factual reports where sometimes when a cargo of slaves was sick, how because they knew they couldn't sell them when they get back to the States, they actually would kill them all and throw them overboard for an insurance claim. So there's just countless of people who were murdered and families divided. And again, the wealth of this country is on our backs. And again, I'm not saying the Asian immigrants didn't suffer. right? I'm not saying that the Irish immigrants didn't suffer or weren't looked down when they came here, or the Italians, but they also were not slaves. They were white. So even in their struggles, they had the privilege of being white. And we didn't have that privilege, except for maybe the ones who could pass. And again, for all intents and purposes, they were products of rape. Because remember, as a slave, you don't have the right to consent. So, like even the Thomas Jefferson thing, and then I'm going to shut up. I get so mad when people refer to Sally Hemings as his mistress. Sally Hemings could not be his mistress because she did not have a choice. She was his property. She was his wife's half-sister. His deceased wife's half-sister. So she was a product of rape, right? Mm-hmm. And then she was a child, and when she was a gift to her half-sister, and then he inherited her when his wife passed, and then he began to rape her. I'm not saying I wasn't there. I'm not saying he was violent to her. I'm saying that she had no choice. She was a child. She was a slave. And you could not, for the most part, you could not say no. You did not have the power of consent. You were property. They did what they wanted to do to you. So, right. I could go on and on, but I'm tired. So what I'm saying is slavery, we're not going to erase slavery. I love the project 1619. First of all, I commend the journalist, Nikole. I have been watching it. I enjoyed it a lot. It's very informative. A lot of things I already, I've studied, I already know about, but I appreciate that she's putting it on a platform where more people will be introduced to it and the wealth that was created. And then when there was a time, there was an era where we were free and there was emancipation and we started to build up a wealth for ourselves and exercise our rights. That's when Jim Crow took over, and then they were trying to put us in our place.
Right. And
I could go on and on, but I'm going to stop.
Okay. I 1,000,000% agree with you, Eve. We cannot ignore what has been going on and what's going on right now, especially after seeing so many Black innocents being murdered by the police unfairly when they haven't done jack shit wrong, And because, I was on the phone with shit. Oh.
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
Yes, I know that there's so many innocent young Black people who have been murdered unjustly by the police. But I also want to say, for those people who made some mistakes, whether it's smoking pot or whether it's underage drinking or selling cigarettes, the police still don't have the right to be judge and executioner. We do have a justice system. And whilst we're talking about that, whilst we lead into this, and I'm so sorry about this, but I want to say this last incident that, has been making the news, right? We spoke about it earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those policemen should be fired. I want to make that clear.
I think they're already fired.
Right. They should be fired. I don't have a problem with them being fired. I just thought it was odd that they tried to attempt a Caucasian officer who was involved. They tried to keep his name silent, out of the press for a while. I thought that was funny. And why is it that when the officers were Black, they were wrong and they should be fired.
They were wrong.
To jail, right? I think they should go to jail for the rest of their lives. Right. They were public servants, and they disrespected the badge, their uniform, and the oath they took.
Absolutely. They really dropped the ball.
Right.
Really dropped the ball. And if
So what I'm about to say is, don't you think it's funny how it's so fast when the officers are black that there's swift justice?
I'm honestly surprised,
but with the white officers, there's all kinds of excuses made for them. They're not fired. They get death duty. You know, I just think that's kind of funny to me. And I also want to say is one more thing. So a lot of people are saying that this wasn't racism why he was killed. It's part of, even though the officers were black, a lot of times police officers
are dead wrong.
Right. But even though they were black, people don't understand that there's such a thing of bias. And there's something, and a lot of police, when they join the force, they start saying they're not this, they're not that, they're blue. They're blue. So the system is already the slave patrol. Because that's what police were. They were slave patrols. And now we call them policemen. So even if you're black, it's no different than having a black overseer on a plantation. They are serving the master. So a lot of black officers are still serving the master. They're still serving the system. And a lot of times there's some of us black who like to try to separate themselves from their people because they're the exception. They're not the stereotype. I'm not the stereotype either, but I love my people, whether they're leaving stereotype or they conduct themselves like Barack Obama and everything in between. I love my people. We're not a monolith. We're individuals. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, people are not talking about the implicit bias. A black officer knows they can talk. Any officer knows that they can target typically a person, a minority, right? Whether they black, Asian, or Hispanic, and then poor people, whatever their color is, because they typically don't have the money for lawyers.
Right. Right. So yeah, I don't, and I will never understand why this keeps happening. Just like I said, and just like you said, we cannot ignore or what's been going on and what's going on right now. I remember, and thank God, we have cameras, and phones, because the phones and cameras that we have right now, they represent proof of what's actually shown. Around a long time ago we weren't able to see any of that happening. And I was on the phone with Shan when we were talking about the fact that George Floyd had been murdered. Or back in the day, they didn't have the proof, so their case got dismissed. And they explained to the judge that this person was murdered, and but they didn't have the proof, so the case was dismissed. And there's not enough words anymore. It really has to stop.
One more thing. Just that you brought that up. There's a case in Florida. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. Of a particular officer. He's no longer on the force. However, he had a run-in with the Hispanic man. The man disappeared. The man was seen with him and then never seen again. And then he had a run-in with a young black man. Right? And the same thing happened. The man was never seen again.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Again, you have to realize that policemen have a direct line from the slave patrol. So they were slave patrollers. And now they are poverty and minority patrollers. Unless you got a sociopath who just targets everybody. I mean, there's some of them too. And I'm not saying all cops are bad.
Right. Not all cops are bad.
I'm not saying that. But too many are. And too many are corrupt. And too many don't see humans. They forget that they're public service and they are to protect and serve. But too many of them act like they're slave patrollers and they're gang. And even officers who speak up often lose their jobs.
Damn.
Or are targeted. Just like that female officer, I can't think of her name right now, but we can talk about it at another show.
Right.
She stepped in when an officer was attacking a citizen. He then turned on her and started to beat her up and choke her. And guess who was reprimanded?
Her.
And guess who lost her job and her pension?
Her.
So that's why a lot of good cops are quiet, because they don't want to lose everything.
This is just something that we're never going to understand, but we do
We
need
don't understand it, but there needs to be a solution.
There really
I think one of the things is that they need to stop being protected. They need to be liable. Not only is the city liable, but we need to start being able to come after the officers as individuals when they break their oath. When you start hitting people in their pockets, that's when you're going to start seeing a change.
Yeah, a lot people really, really need to hear this. And, I think it's sickening that that officers think that they can get off scot-free by murdering someone when they haven't done anything wrong. I think it's crazy and just.
I want us to stop saying that. Even if they have done something wrong, if your life is not in danger, you are not judge and executioner. So even if I went in Safeway and I stole a ham because my kids are hungry, I'm a thief. You still don't have a right to beat me mercilessly and take my life. You still don't have the right. So that's what I need people to stop saying. It's so hurtful when people are innocent and they experience this, but also when you do break the law, policemen are not judges and they're not executioners. And that person is entitled to a trial, to an attorney, to their rights. Because isn't that what this great nation is about?
Yes.
Yes.
It's supposed to be about. So again, even when people make mistakes and wrong choices, they are not judge and executioner. And we need to, they shouldn't have run. Well, hell, if you just seen Black people over and over again, and let's talk about this, the psych of that. If I've seen Rodney King get his ass beat on the freeway, if I've seen George Floyd life snuffed out with the knee on his neck, if I see, I think it was Philando, who was shot, and he was a legal weapon holder, and he hadn't pulled the gun, but they just went to shoot him. When you see all that kind of stuff over and over, and Sandra Bland and all that kind of stuff, when you see that shit over and over again, it's like, if you get bit by a dog, right? Let's say you get bit by a dog. And now every time you see that breed of dog, you scared.
Yeah.
You're going to run, right?
Right.
Well, a lot of Black people have seen videos of innocent or not innocent Black people unjustly murdered or beaten over and over again. There has to be some fear. Let me tell you something. I went to the beauty supply, right?
Right.
This was about several days ago. I went to the beauty supply, and I had my light was green, and I had a right of way, and I noticed this SUV was about to try to cut me off because they were making the left, but I'm making the right, so I have the right of way and I have the light. So I'm making the right, and so he stops for me, and I see it's a black SUV, but guess who it was? The police. And he rode behind me for a minute because I guess he was mad because I didn't let him go. Then he went on and parked adjacent to me and just sat there looking at me. And then I just got in my car and walked into the beauty supply. But for that second, you get what I'm saying? Even though I didn't break the law, I wasn't doing anything wrong. For that second, when I realized it was a police officer, I did nothing wrong. But I was just like, is this man about to jack me? Is he about to jack me up? You get what I'm saying? Because you just never know. So, again, it's because of everything that I've experienced with police. Even the good ones. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know there's some good ones, but you always fear that you might get the bad one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was pulled over one night by a police officer leaving Tommy T's nighttime after the show. And he pulled me over. He said, ma'am, have you been drinking? I said, absolutely not. And he said, can you step out the car? I said, I'm scared. Can I drive to the parking lot, to the gas station where there's lights? Because it's too dark here. I said, I'm afraid. And that's when he relaxed. Because first he was a little, bullyish. But once I surrendered, like, I'm afraid, and I didn't talk back to him, I said, can we just go to the gas station where there are lights? And he was like, okay, absolutely. And then he said, what are you doing out here? I said, I work at Tommy T's. I live at Tommy T's house. And he said, you know Tommy T? I said, yes. And he was like, have you been drinking? I said, no, I have not been drinking. He said, can you get out the car? I said, yeah, I can get out the car now. So we were in the lights. I got out the car. I passed all the tests and all that kind of stuff. And then he was like, you sure you live with Tommy T? I said, yes, I do. And then I gave him Tommy T's address. And while I was talking to him, they got a call to go. We were close to the prison, Santa Rita. And so during all that time, they got an emergency call. And honey, as soon as they took off, I took off too.
But what did he pull you over?
I don't know. Nothing.
That's the point. You're not just and that's another thing we need to talk about. I'm about to just tell me to shut up.
No, it's scary. It's very scary.
They just be pulling over Black people.
They just be pulling over
Hispanic people. They just be pulling them over.
Like, and especially these Black boys. That's why I tell Joanne, if he's ever stopped by a cop, immediately raise your hands. Don't take your hands down and say, sir, I'm autistic. Please be patient with me. I am autistic. My mama told me to let y'all know I'm autistic. Please do not shoot me. I'm innocent.
An autistic boy. He wasn't even walking home.
Yeah.
He was just walking home, minding his business. Like, we can't walk the street. We have no right to walk the street.
Exactly. That's why I tell Joanne to just do that. Keep them hands up and say, my mama told me to let y'all know I'm autistic. I am not armed. I am safe. I am innocent. And I am harmless. Those words there, and keep them arms up and let them do whatever they got to do. And then let me take care of it after all the shit is done. Just live through it. Don't fight. Don't do anything. Just do what you do, and we'll work it out after everything is settled.
Right.
Sad but true. But that's the game you got to play. And what I do know is from experience, when you surrender and don't fight back and give them their power that they want, that temporary power, it pretty much calms them down. And that's what you got to do. You got to play the game.
Absolutely.
I hear you, and I'm not, and people, it's no different than when we talk to rape survivors.
Yeah, same thing.
Some people fight, some people surrender. And you don't never know. I mean, if you survived it, then you know you made the right decision, whatever your choice is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it depends on who the rapist is and what they get off on. You get what I'm saying? And what their intentions are, right? Well, I'm going to say that to y'all about the cops too. Whether you surrender or whether you choose to talk back, because I've seen people talk back and it work out for them. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you do what's right for you, and you you instruct your kids what's right for you with them. But already know what's going to happen with me.
Mm-hmm. But with Joanne, I just don't want him to challenge them.
Yeah, Joanne, you do what your mama says. But
Yeah.
you already know what's gonna happen to me.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm going down.
No, I get it.
Yeah. I think, all in all, I think we just need to do better. We just really need to do better. We got a lot of more work to do, and I'm just going to end it like that. We just have a lot more work to do. Well, in honor of Black History Month, we would like to honor these three powerful women who made history at NASA and will forever be known as the Hidden Figures.
Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson were three Black females mathematicians who worked for NASA and contributed to winning the Great Space Race. Mary Jackson was the first African-American female engineer. She started as a research mathematician in a segregated West Area computing session. At NASA, Katherine Johnson was one of the first African-American women to work as a NASA scientist. Katherine calculated a launch for the 1961 Mercury mission, insisted on assisting Katherine to verify a calculation for his orbit around the Earth when NASA first moved to an automated computer system. Dorothy Vaughan became the first Black supervisor at National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. Dorothy started her career as a programmer and mathematician when she specialized in flight path calculations and digital computer programming. Vaughan believed that machine computers would be a reason for the future and decided to teach the other women in her group programming language. They would be ahead of the curve. These three women will forever be known as the Hidden Figures. Welcome back to the Bubble Chat. For more of today's hot topics, y'all know I got to talk about the Queen Bee herself, Beyoncé. The Queen performed for the grand opening of Atlantis, the Royal Resort in Dubai, which marks her first stage appearance in over 4 years. And which makes her first stage appearance in over 4 years and performed for 75 minutes. According to Yahoo, she was reportedly paid $322,000 per minute, which brings it to a total of $24 million. The concert consisted of fireworks, an orchestra of 48 women's, outfit changes, and backup dancing from the Mayas. From the Mayas?
I think so.
Okay, backup dancing from the Mayas. Beyonce's daughter, Blue Ivy, made an appearance for the rendition of Brown Skin Girl. The performance ended with a bang where she rose from the stage while singing Drunken Love, Drunken Love. The fireworks went off and the flames burst from a water fountain. However, according to Newsweek, the LGBTQIA plus fans in Dubai were less than impressed due to the fact that the Gulf nation of the United Arab Emirates. Emirates, UAE, where homosexuality is illegal. Homosexuality. I'm so sorry. I didn't know homosexuality was illegal anywhere these days and times. But anyway, it's illegal. So yeah, what are your thoughts? But my thoughts is this was an amazing performance.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely a fan of Beyonce.
Obviously.
I definitely love the Beehive for having her back always.
Obviously.
And I love the fact that she counts her coin, honey. That baby counts her coin, honey. She left there with 300. How many million? 24 million.
$24 million.
$320,000. Who makes $320,000 per minute?
Beyonce.
And she left there with a whopping $24 million. Yeah. I am right now saving my money because I'm going to that concert. If I got to get a job at the stadium where she's performing just to be in the building.
You need to start an OnlyFans page and get that money from them. We get that.
I'm going to do whatever it takes. Honey, I'm going to do whatever it takes because I wish Beyonce would.
We about to do the toes. Let's do the toes.
Honey, baby, listen, I wish she would come to my town.
So we can go to the concerts.
That part, honey, I wish she would come to town and we not go. And you know where we really need to go is to Houston, Eve, because that's where she's from. And you know she's gonna.
We need to just go. We need to just make it happen.
Yeah, we need to make that happen, honey. If I gotta apply
we have to do a set it off. We need to go to that concert,
baby. If I gotta apply for a loan and hop to every cash app to get an advance check, bitch, I'm in the building. And I really think we should be in Houston as well.
I think we should too.
Because, honey, when she go to Houston, she's going to let those people have it. That's home for her. Do you understand? Do you understand what she's going to do in the
She's
state?
She's going to show all the way out. She's going to show all the way out.
Baby. And when she sing Alien Superstar, that's what I'm waiting on the music. I'm waiting on the crowd to just be quiet. And all of a sudden, everybody's, we're just all wondering what's next. And then that music is going to come on and she going to look and go, I am the one. I'm the only one.
Only one.
Don't even waste your time to compete with me.
Because you can't.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. So can I talk about this or can I talk about this?
Please.
So here's a bit of honesty. First of all, I'm biased because I have a major respect for Beyonce and all that she's accomplished.
Me too.
And all that she continues to do. Now, with that said, people have their opinions and they're entitled to their opinions, but this is my opinion. Is you boycotting Britain? Is you boycotting America? Is you boycotting Asia? You get what I'm saying? Like, these are entertainers and that's what they do. And what I'm saying is she has a right to make a decision for herself for her reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But some in the community have an issue with some of her music. But this is the problem that I have because I saw this with Madonna. Right?
Oh, my love.
Madonna, I'll be honest with you. I didn't know nothing about voguing until Madonna.
Period.
And then I learned from the community of which it came from. That was created by
Madonna.
No, the community was created by Black, trans, queer people.
Yes.
That's how I learned. So Madonna's music was a vehicle for me to learn about a community that I didn't know exists. Because when I grew up in the Bay Area, you knew about Caucasian trans and that community, but you didn't see a lot of Black or Hispanics. So she introduced me to that world so I could learn more about it and have an empathy and an admiration for the things that they do and how they look out for each other and their community and their people. You get what I'm saying?
Most definitely. And can we just mention really quick?
But I want to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
So, again, when you have a star with Madonna who had a Uncle Johnny, who was a part of her life and who was a part of that community. When I hear that music, she's not profiting off of you. She's paying homage to a man who was part of your community.
Yeah.
And she's opening up the doors for more people to learn about you and hopefully have a compassion and understanding and an open heart to you. But that's my 2 cents, and then I'll let y'all take it away.
And I just wanted to mention, since you mentioned Madonna, did you know that Beyonce and Madonna remixed Break My Soul?
Yes.
Yeah.
Baby, you gotta go listen. So she remixed Break My Soul with Madonna, and they added in Vogue. It is absolutely amazing.
Yes, and I do want to
It is so hot, it's ridiculous. Like, it's gonna give you so much energy. It's like, please go listen to that when we get off.
Okay, but I'm not canceling. Just so everybody can know, like I'm look. I love people, and I try to accept most people. I mean,
Yeah.
as long as you not know, terrorist, anti-racial person, I try to be accepting of people, open my heart to different people as individuals within different communities. So I need to say that right now. But I'm not canceling Beyonce. Beyonce can get all of my coins. That's why I'm going to start an OnlyFans. I'm going to need whoever watching this. I'm going to need you to become a member because I'm going to need that concert money.
I'm making an announcement tomorrow to let the people know I'm doing an OnlyFans for 60 days. Come get it. Come get it. Because I'm going, every dime that I make is going towards my Beyonce tickets. So yes, I'm going to be on OnlyFans. You call me whatever you want to call me, but put that dough on that account.
Hoeing for Beyonce tickets. Hoeing for Beyonce tickets.
Hoeing for Beyonce tickets. I'm gonna need you to know I do have an OnlyFans, and come see. And bring your coin. Bring your coin. When you come see, bring your coin. Bring your coin, honey. Get out those Black American Express. Get out, honey. Bring your money, honey. And don't even play with me, baby. And whoever want to judge me, I don't even care. They judge Jesus. So if they judge Jesus, honey, what do you think they're going to do to little old me down here in Richmond, California? Bring your coin, because I'm getting me an OnlyFans for 60 days. And I bet you I'm going to have enough money to go on and get in that front row seat at Beyonce's concert. Hello. And not only am I going to be at the one here in the Bay Area, I'm going to Houston. That's what I'm going to do. And let me say this about Beyonce. She's medicine. So we're not just going to watch Beyonce just because she's Beyonce. It's not a lust thing. It's an inspiration. Beyonce is a Black queen from Houston.
An admiration for
country.
A little Black girl who
a little Black girl with some parents.
Whatever obstacle she came up against,
baby,
she
honey,
over them.
That part. That part,
She's
baby.
The best in the business.
That part, honey.
She's the baddest bitch on the globe.
The baddest, and she works for it. She works for it. They didn't hand it to her.
Born from a Black queen.
That part. And they did not hand it to her, honey. This baby worked, honey, from running in Ivory Park to now, baby. And let me tell you, she's just a little country girl from Houston, Texas, honey, with a mama that'll whoop her ass and pop her in her mouth. Her mama Tina did not play, baby. She's one of us. So to see that baby strive, honey. And not to mention that she strive, this baby married Jay-Z, a hood man from Brooklyn, New York. And then they made 3 children. And they built an empire.
And
they're crazy in love.
And she made money off of it.
Made money. Because she's not playing with the people.
Made money.
And she's a trendsetter. She's a trendsetter. When she made this last album, people were like, I ain't feeling it. But she's a trendsetter. So she doesn't leave anybody out. I really feel like this album pretty much was dedicated to the LGBTQIA+.
LGBTQIA+.
That. And I do believe she did because it sounds like the 80s, and it's a party. It's a party.
It's
but
a
if
party.
the people let me say this to the haters, the ones who say she's not that talented, she can't sing, all of that, that's fine, honey. Because that's just like y'all going outside. We don't even care. Baby, look, them haters. But when you say that Beyonce is not talented and she cannot sing, that's just like going outside and saying, oh, the sky is red. We know the sky is blue. So we're not going to argue with you because obviously you have a mental disability.
She may not be your cup of tea, but millions of people is drinking her. Do you understand?
That part. That part, baby. Honey.
Millions, countless people who love Beyonce. So she's not, you don't want to deal with her, don't deal with her.
Don't deal with her. But if you tell me that woman ain't talented and can't sing,
keep your money to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. And if you're telling me that she's not talented and can't sing, you're telling me that you're telling me that the sky is red. You're telling me that the sky is red. And if you can go
I remember Wendy Williams talking about how Beyonce needs auto-tune.
Somebody bring me my Ivy Park blazer, please.
That part. And don't make me go put on my sweatshirt. Because let me say this too. Some people like to buy big, huge homes. Some people want to buy the big body Mercedes Benz and spend money on this and spend money on that. Some people even have drug addictions where they're spending maybe $2,000 a month on cocaine.
That part.
Okay. That's your business. I ain't got online and got mad at you. So when I do this OnlyFans, boom. And when I do this OnlyFans to get my money for this ticket, don't be mad at me.
Hey, just in case mine flop.
I got you.
You got me, okay.
You my sister, I got you. And let me tell you this too. Us going to the Beyonce concert.
I'm gonna be twerking.
Do you know how it's like a therapy session? Do you know how we will escape from our problems? It's worth it. I wish my medical would pay for it to go see Beyonce. And I've been to several of her concerts to go and see Beyonce.
Including the one for Coachella?
To watch the production of Beyonce from sitting down, because I get there early. I watch from the parking lot filling up. I'm watching the people go to will call to get their tickets. I'm sitting in my seat watching the stadium fill up from the front row to the nosebleed section, baby. And let me tell you what Beyonce did one time, honey. Beyonce had a whole stage built, surprised. She surprised the people in the nosebleeds. Do you understand me? Do you know they put that heifer on a harness and she flew. She flew in the air to another stage, and that stage happened to be in the nosebleed section where the people who thought, we're here, we're in the nosebleed. Y'all get in the nosebleed and y'all become the front row. Do you hear me? She flew all the way. They put her in the air and they took her to the nosebleed and put her on a stage right there in front of those people weighing them. The front row became the last row. And for those fans who spent their last little $79, they had like $79 tickets at that time, honey. For them to be like, oh my God, is she coming here? Is this the stage? Like, it was a total surprise. She came down, she grabbed the baseball cap of this one little guy, and she put his cap on her head. She said, what's my name? He was like, oh my God, Beyonce. She was like, no, what's my name? And his friend was like, he was like, Sasha Fierce. And honey, she performed for that whole section. Do you know the high? Do you know the type of endorphins that come in your spirit, in your blood, and heal your body? That's medicine. For us to watch somebody, and it's not like we're worshiping her like a god. No, that's not what it is. We are looking at her like she's us. When I look at it, Beyonce, I see myself. When she's on that stage, I'm on that stage. And that is the high that I'm getting. Yes. We don't worship her like a god. She don't want that from us. She want to empower her people.
That's right.
She wants to empower her people. And that's what we do. Honey, when I left out of there, I know I was a good 190 pounds, 195. But when I walked out of there, I switched out of there. I didn't even remember that my hip was hurting, honey. You would have thought I was 130 pounds, soaking wet. My head was up high, and I was proud, and I felt beautiful. That's what Beyonce does.
So let me say this: Alien Superstar is my jam.
Ooh.
And when she says, "I'm the one, the only one," that's my 54, 248 pound self. I'm the one. I'm the only one.
The only one. Don't even waste your time to compete with me.
Don't waste your time. Don't do it. When we get to that concert, I'm twerking.
When she said, keep him addicted. Lies on his lips, I licked it. Mm-hmm. Unique.
Yeah, I also want to mention.
You see my Ivy Park?
Let me go get mine. Because we all have something Ivy Park in our closets, honey.
Okay, and while I forget that, I do want to mention some details of the backlash he's beginning. Yahoo News claims that the nationally increasingly debuted high-profile bills as they target trans people, in addition to less than squeaky clean track record on LGBTQIA+ rights. The debate has been happening for years and is ramping up after the release of her 7th album release. Beyonce has been accused for profiting from Black, trans, and queer innovation, especially in the ballroom cases, such as her song "Cheated." Oh, my goodness.
That part.
You don't play when it comes to her Ivy Park merch. Because
we are team Beyonce, period. And anybody who don't like it.
I should have brought down my vintage Ivy Park. But I'm going to do that next week.
Honey. So anyway, y'all, we can stay here all night talking about Beyonce.
I mean, that woman.
Baby, because let me tell you something about her. She means business. And she owes it. She owes it to. And then people are complaining about the price of the tickets. I understand. But no. Respect.
How much are them tickets?
I just registered, so they said they'll be in touch with me by February 14th, and that's why I love her, because you have to register now with Ticketmaster. So because the scalpers like to buy a bunch of them and then resell them, so no, you can't do it like that anymore. So it's hard. So I don't know how much the tickets are, but I'm thinking they're probably anywhere between $300 and maybe $10,000.
What?
That's what I'm thinking. So don't take me.
I'll need you. I'm. When we getting the OnlyFans up?
I'm gonna get them up. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm filming my music video tomorrow, and I'm probably going to, if I can get it edited and ready, I might put that on the OnlyFans before I drop it to the public. It'll be on OnlyFans. I'm going to do me an OnlyFans, honey.
Okay,
I'm doing it for fun, just to see what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna do that. And whoever have something to say about it, they talked about Jesus. I don't give a damn what y'all think. I don't care, because what I am is I'm still respectful. My kids love me, look up to me, don't you, Joanne?
Mm-hmm.
My babies look up to me. I ain't disrespected nobody, and I ain't gonna show y'all nothing that you ain't never seen before. That part.
Joanne's mama got an OnlyFans page.
Oh, I'm gonna have me one. Because who going to that concert is Dawana Lachey. And y'all can call Beyonce a devil worshiper or whatever y'all want to call her. I'm not that. I'm not a devil worshiper.
She's not a devil worshiper.
That's what people say. She worships the devil. She's an Illuminati. I don't, you know what?
Man,
I don't believe it. I don't believe that. I really don't believe it.
Wrong with that.
But guess what? I'm not. I don't know what I do know she does for me.
Don't vote for Trump with that BS.
She inspires me. She inspires me.
Me too.
And she comes from where we come from. Period. A little old country girl. A little
Black
country
mama.
girl, a little country
Black
girl,
mama.
honey,
Yeah.
from a black city, striving.
That part. Yeah. I love Beyonce.
Me too. I don't think any of us will ever stop loving Beyonce.
And Joanne, I think you should, when you do edit this actual video, you need to do a special one tributing it to Beyonce with just the segment of us talking about Beyonce, and put that one on too, because I think she deserves the how we feel about her. She's everything.
Hey, can I say one more thing?
Oh, sure.
So, what I just be looking at people because I don't see anybody else. I don't see nobody else do it for anybody else but Beyonce. So I know the jealousy and the envy and the hate is real. You know, you be minding your own business, and all of a sudden they'll be like, "I really don't like Beyonce," or "I don't like Beyonce," and I just be looking to myself like, "Where the hell did that come from?" You get what I'm saying? Like, where did that come from? Like, what is in your spirit? What?
And why do you have to bring it up? Ain't nobody even asked
you. Keep it to yourself, because like there's a whole lot of people, entertainers I don't care for and I don't like, and their music come on, and I never think to be like out loud, oh, I don't like Umpty Scrunch. I just don't do it. I respect the music at this point, and whoever wants to listen to it and enjoy it, I want them to have that moment. So when they do that, I just be like, well, that's interesting because she doesn't even know that you exist.
Exactly. And you know what? I love the word Umpty Scrunch. I want to say that. I like that, Umpty Scrunch. But it's just like if somebody bring out a big bottle of white wine. I don't like white wine. I drink red. But I'm not going to be so mad at you because you drink white wine.
I'm not even going to say I don't.
I do drink champagne.
I'm not going to even say I don't like white wine. I'm going to say, do you happen to have a Merlot? Do you happen to have a Merlot? Do you have a root beer? You get what I'm saying?
Period.
I don't like white wine.
I don't like white wine. It tastes nasty.
Yeah, no, that's not. But you know what? I'm okay with them, like, because everybody's not everybody's cup of tea. But this that they have to in that energy. I'd be like, girl, you is doing something because the people are mad. Can I tell you a true story? I don't know why you brought Beyonce into this, because we can go all night about some Beyonce. But let me tell you something. So I'm going to say in-laws. Okay. It was, I can't think of the song name. Forgive me, because I love Beyonce, but I'm not like a maniac and I know every video. But you know the song, you know the video where she has the one shoulder unitard on.
Is it white?
No, it's black, and it's like a black and white video.
Single ladies?
Huh?
Is it single ladies?
Yeah, single ladies. Thank you so much. And you know how hard she danced in that video, right?
To the gods.
So an in-law is in my house, overweight. I'm overweight, people, so I have nothing against overweight people. I'm actually proud of y'all because y'all eating it, doing your thing, and not tripping. But
and that's another reason why I like Beyonce. I love Beyonce because she also has the big girls representing honey, and they're hitting those splits like they're 80 pounds soaking wet. Okay, carry on.
So this person is like probably about 5'2" and maybe 195. No waist. But that's okay because the world is for everybody.
Yeah.
But she's watching her, and I can see the little hatred in her eyes. And you know what she said? She said she shouldn't be jiggling like that. Like she's dancing full on, like shaking it, and she's talking about she shouldn't be jiggling like that. And I said, well, what is she supposed to? What is her body? She's dancing hard. What is her body supposed to do? What is her ass cheeks supposed to do? You get what I'm saying? Like you're not making any sense. And then I'm looking at her like
I can't walk without jiggling.
You have rolls. You have no butt. You have rolls. You have no waist. And you're talking about she should be in better shape. And that was a moment that I was just looking at her like,
hate.
you are not the sharpest knife in the drawer, and I'm suspecting that you're a spoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That part. I'm with you. Team Beyonce.
And let me say this though. Just like I love Beyonce, guess else who I love?
Who?
Lizzo.
A beast.
She is that bitch.
And that's what she is.
That bitch.
She is that bitch.
Yes.
I love her.
I do too. And she's comfortable in her skin. She's cozy.
And beautiful. And talented.
Beautiful and talented, yes. And you know what? The bottom line is, these are our heroes. These are the women who make us feel like we can, who make us feel beautiful in our
like
skin.
That Beaches song.
Yes.
You're my hero.
Girl, yes. Not to mention it's medicine. It is so many reasons to be depressed in this world. It's so many reasons to be sad. It's so many reasons to feel this, to feel that. And then when you watch somebody that come from where we come, who shares the same blood, the same flesh, to get on a stage and kill it like that, it takes you away from all your troubles. This is like a therapy session. It's like an empowerment session. When you go to a Beyonce concert, for anybody who ain't never been to one, when you go to a Beyonce concert, you see yourself on that stage.
I've never been to a Beyonce concert.
Huh?
I've never been to a Beyonce concert. This is why this is so important to me. I've never been. I just saw them when they were Destiny's Child without LaToya and the other one. And I was like, that don't look like them. You know, when they first brought on, they had a concert. So right after the breakup, right? Their first appearance was in Seattle, in the Seattle area outskirts. And they got on stage. You know, I was so excited because, you know, I was a big Destiny's Child. I loved them. And I was like, those two girls, what's going on?
My God.
Like, what? And then, you know.
Well, guess what? I'm about to do this OnlyFans. We're going to get us some big money. And you're going to your first Beyonce concert in Houston, Texas. That part.
And on that note, all hail the Queen Beyonce. Up next, television personality Lala Anthony, special guest star on The Breakfast Club this past week about how she thinks marriage is no longer a goal. According to a recent article from Atlanta Black Star, she started to pose a question after discussing her own beliefs on marriage and where she thinks it stands to this day, as she admitted that she didn't want to hear people who aren't married saying, I want to get married. Her sharp words starts to hit a nerve for several fans at the comment section where they express their beliefs of marriage and if it remains a goal for them. Ladies, what are your thoughts on Lala's opinion of marriage?
I feel like she can have whatever opinion she want to have. I'm a fan of her as well. She's a beautiful Black woman. She was married to a basketball player, Carmelo Anthony. What's his name?
Carmelo Anthony, I believe.
Carmelo.
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony.
And you know, they're young and they're in the industry, and it's going to be some ups and downs. And you know, I cannot judge a person who don't stay in it. Like it's a wonderful thing to watch a couple fight and win, but sometimes you just cannot. And for whatever reason why she couldn't hang in it, I respect her. And at the end of the day, she still survived her sanity, and she's still doing good. And that girl is drop dead gorgeous. and she can dress her ass off. She's beautiful, and I'm sure she'll find her another man to love. They come and they go sometimes, and it's not the end of the world. So big ups to Carmela. Big ups to Lala. Big ups to Carmela. Whatever you doing nowadays, baby. If you feel like you made the mistake and you were the reason that the marriage ended, sometimes that happens. Every marriage it's a lot of challenges in marriages. And sometimes you overcome and you fight and you fight and you fight. And then you be the best of friends in the end. Some of y'all don't have patience to wait that long. But I'm not here to judge any one of y'all. As long as you do right by your children and be respectful to them kids and not have no issues with the children and move on. And Lala, honey, that child there, she's absolutely gorgeous, intelligent, talented. She can act. She's a good mother to her son. I don't know how many kids she got, but I know she got that one son as well. And I pray that her and her ex-husband could become friends one day. It's just part of life. So my point is, I don't judge married couples because we didn't live in that house. We don't know what happened. We don't know what she put him through, and we don't know what he put her through. But what we do know, at the end of the day, they made beautiful seeds or a seed, and they just, it's just you work with what you got and you do what you can. But at the end of the day, they are both talented and they are counting that coin. They're getting their money.
Right.
So
go ahead, Eve.
She's entitled to her opinion, and she stated what she don't want to hear. And what, I don't think it should be so controversial. Like, she doesn't want to hear unmarried people who never been married say they want to be married. She doesn't want to hear that from them. And she's entitled to that. And unmarried people who want to be married, it's okay for them to say, hey, I want to be married. I want a life partner.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. It's it's. I don't understand what the controversy is. She shared her opinion and her wants, and it's cool.
And one thing
marriage is no longer a goal for her. Is marriage a goal for you?
Me?
No. Joanne, is marriage a goal for you?
No.
Okay.
And what I want to mention is that Lala and her ex-husband Carmelo Anthony have been divorced for over a year, and that led to her, saying that she never wants to get married again. And according to Hot 97, reports surfaced that back in 2021, the reason for the divorce is for irreconcilable differences in accordance with other documents. The news comes soon after rumors spread that Carmelo was with another woman. The publication agreed to have the woman's identity concealed. This is according to Hollywood Unlocked. Carmelo allegedly fathered twins with that woman. She claimed that they spoke almost daily and had sexual relations.
I would have beat her ass. I'm just kidding.
So why do you think something like this happens when? So why do you think something like this happens when it comes to a committed marriage?
Because everybody's human. Everybody has insecurities. Everybody has immaturities, and it happens. It's a lot of shoulda, woulda, coulda years down the line. But when you're in the midst of it, and especially when you got a lot of money and you're celebrities, it just happens. And sometimes love make things happen. Sometimes it's not just lust. You could be married to a king, and he could be so professional and so successful and have all this money, and he's so busy and he's going from here to here and here to there. But you can go to your local Walmart and just be at the check stand, and somebody's helping you, and something about that guy that's helping you make you want to befriend that person because he's giving you something that's empty inside that money can't buy, and you can end up fooling around with that man and fall in love with him. That's what happens. You just never know what emptiness that she or he had that somebody else came. And that's why I think when you get married, you have to be sure you communicate and talk about what's hurting you and talk about what you're not feeling and what you're not getting. And you have to be a team, even when you don't feel like it. When your man wants certain things, you need to give it to him. When your woman needs certain things, you need to give it to her, period. It's a team effort, and you don't have to. But I'm just telling you, this is why human beings end up in the bed with somebody who just wants to give them a hug, who just needs a. I feel
that is true for some people, and some people can be great husbands, and some people can be great wives, and their partner is just low down and just wants to look at other women.
Now that's for the dogs.
Have sex with other women and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's for the dogs. I agree.
So that's what I'm saying. So there's so many components, there's so many mixtures of why people do what they want, why they agree. Do it. And unless we know them individually and they share, their truth, we'll never know.
I agree. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I didn't even think about that, but that's the truth.
Yeah. So, so again, I'm not anybody's household, but a lot of times people are so-called checking on the boxes, and their partner can steal.
Amen. And once they find out that, and that's just taking advantage because it comes too easy, and that's true. Yeah. And once they figure it out that they were stupid, it's too late.
Right.
Not all the time, but most of the time. I'm glad you brought that up, Eva. I agree.
For our last topic today, HBCU head coach Quinn Gray issued an apology after offering ex-quarterback Marcus Stokes a 4-star scholarship after Stokes was using the N-word. According to Yahoo News, last November, a video resurfaced of Marcus Stokes, who is white, singing in a chord to a song with lyrics to the N-word. As the video went viral, it promoted a huge social media outcry. As the video resurfaced, the University of Florida, where Marcus was committed to play, had rescinded the offer. CBS claimed that Stokes responded to the controversy and issued an apology claiming, "I was in my car listening to rap music, rapping along to the words, and posted a video of it to social media. I deeply apologize for the words in the song, which I chose to say." Head coach issued an apology tweeting, "Frankly, it wasn't my place to use ASU as the platform for redemption in this case. I regret that I used flawed judgment. If given the opportunity, I would do better." Guys, what are your thoughts on Marcus' actions?
I think, I will say that the boy is like very young and he doesn't know, but at the same time, he does need to face appropriate consequences to his actions. And I'm wondering if you think that having his scholarship rescinded and the opportunity to play football is a good consequences. And if not, what do you think he should do so he could possibly get one next year?
Me personally, let me just say this. These young kids these days, even I hear it all the time. I recently took a seasonal job at UPS with these young kids, and I was the oldest one there. They was like my grandchildren, okay? You got drivers that's like 23 years old. And they come in with all these tattoos. These white boys come in with all these tattoos. They got gold grills in their mouth. They calling each other nigga, and they white, okay? They are ignorant to the fact of where it really came from. I don't even get offended when I hear them because it's more of a swag, slang type of thing. They're not thinking. These guys are attracted to Black women. They damn near want to be Black, okay? So they be talking about nigga please and nigga this and nigga that, and they do. And I think it's the most ignorantest thing that they can ever do, but I don't hold them accountable of being racist because they admire us. They want to be us. They got braids in their hair. They got twisties. They tatted up. They got gold teeth. They sag, and they just want to be us. And when I hear guys that's singing a song that somebody has written, it's the lyrics. The lyrics of the song is that. So I cannot really say I'm just that angry. And I'm sorry, Eve, if I'm irritating your soul. I cannot be that angry at a white kid that pretty much want to be Black and don't know no better. and ain't even looking at the bigger picture because he haven't even did his homework. He's definitely not on purpose trying to offend people because he want to be us. And it depends on the situation, but and I don't know the situation that Eve just read on, but a lot of times they just being millennials, and these millennials is crazy. They don't have it all. They crazy as hell. And I honestly don't feel like they're being racist. I feel like they need to be chin checked, of course, but it ain't where I think, they were really just being racist. It's just ignorance. That's what I would say. Go ahead, Eve.
Okay. I would like to I want to break this down real quick. There's cultural appropriation. Under no circumstances, if you consider yourself Caucasian, that you should ever use the N-word. And if you're just mocking us, cultural appropriation, because you want to be cool, you want the swag of our culture, that's not cool. All right? Then there's a situation, sociology, where someone may be ethnically Irish or Italian or German, but they were brought up in the Black community. So while ethnically they may be Caucasian, right? They might be Caucasian and German, but they were brought up in the Black community. So culturally, they're actually African American or Black, right? That does happen.
And the one thing
let me finish.
Okay. All right.
I feel like if you are culturally Black, you still, if you are ethnically white, you should know, because if you're culturally Black, you should know the history and understand the significance and the origin of that word, and you should not be using the N-word. And I don't care what's on the song. You don't say the N-word. Now, if you live in America, you are free to say the N-word. There's freedom of speech. But with freedom of speech, there is consequences. Now, I'm going to check you. If I see you saying the N-word, I am going to check you. I don't care if you're rapping a song. You don't get to say that in my presence. Point blank, period. And it's inexcusable. And it's very unprofessional to say that word at work.
Yeah. And they do unprofessional, period. But this is how I feel. I don't feel like I am the N-word. I don't feel like I'm a nigga. I'm not a nigga. So when I hear them call each other niggas and they're white, it's hilarious. First of all, it's freaking hilarious. And I dare you to call me one. You know what I mean? But I agree with you too. But realistically, with these young millennials, like I said, they want to call each other that word. And I don't associate myself with being that. And I think that word is pretty much a slang word, and it's not a good word. I don't think we should call each other that word, but it's just what it is. But for them to what it
is, but we cannot. It's just like the police, how they originated as the slave patrollers. It's the same origin for the word nigger. It's a derogatory term. Point blank, period. And that's the origin from it. And just because we chose to try to turn the tables and use that as a part of a community, our community, if you are not Black, you should not be using that word. You should definitely not use that word in front of me, whether it's in a song or not. Then also, I'm going to go even deeper and say this, that countless numbers of African Americans met their death hearing that word, taken from the tree, being burned alive. And nobody who not Black should be using that word.
I agree.
They have a freedom to do it because it's America. Well, with that freedom, there is consequences.
Right.
So the consequences of him listening to a song and choosing not to just not say the word, but he wanted to say the word so bad because so many people want to say that word so bad for whatever the reason, he had a consequence. And I hope he learned the consequence. And how I feel about the coach, I feel like he took it, and I don't know his operation of his mind. So this is an ignorant opinion. You get what I'm saying? It's my opinion, but I know that it's ignorant because I don't know particularly this coach or operation of his mind. So there's a lot of ignorance unknown for me. But in my ignorant opinion, I feel in the best case scenario, the coach had an opportunity to get a great player and allow him to be immersed in an HBCU environment where he could learn the culture and the people.
Exactly.
And for it to be a learning moment for him. So I understand it's controversial, but I don't know if it's necessarily, I know he said it was an error of judgment. So if he says it was an error of judgment, that's his call. But for me, an outsider looking in, I don't necessarily think it was an error of judgment.
Right. And
to could be if the kid could have a learning moment from it, and it's still an opportunity for education.
Yes, and I think, and this is according to Cisco blogs, HBCUs were born in an exclusion environment, continuing to operate where the playing field is not often level. And I think the HBCUs are committed to like inclusion, because this is something that my university counselor said back when I was at community college. HBCUs is for everybody. It's for everyone, And to piggyback off what you're saying about freedom of speech, and Eve, that's the similar fact to where I'm like getting to get tired of people saying that if they can't say this word, then why can we say this word? That's what I'm getting to get tired of. So why do you think people make that excuse?
I totally get that. I totally agree with you, Eve. I agree with you also, Joanne. And I also agree with myself from experience, hands-on, when I look in the eyes of these ignorant kids, and they simply just don't know no better. Sometimes I look at certain things like, we could do a white face. We could get dressed up as a white person and be a white character. We could do that. But if they do it, it's hell on their ass. And I get it. But to the ones who don't know the story of where that come from, like, I get it. I totally get why we can do it and they cannot. But when you have these millennials who are ignorant and don't know and have not studied, they don't know the Black history. They don't get it because they have not been taught. And I'm sure if they got taught why, then they would have a conscience. But some of them don't mean no harm. They just trying to be cool and want to be Black, until somebody either whoop their ass or somebody pull them to the side and say, listen, baby, this is totally unacceptable and this is why. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm sorry. I don't, we're all ignorant to some level, but with all the information out there and all the things
kids don't
on,
have it. All they doing is smoking
a
weed.
lot of these kids have the information, they just choose to do it willfully. And I've seen that too.
Yeah.
So they want to be a controversy. So again, you know better, so hopefully you can do better. But like I don't buy into that. I mean, I know there's some cases of ignorance, but a lot of it is willful. Just I'm gonna do what the heck I want to say and do what the heck without regard to the suffering behind that word or situation. You get what I'm saying? Like,
no, definitely. And I
get tired of, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna shut up. I get tired of the appropriation. Like, you don't want us to be part of your family. You don't want us to have equal rights. You don't want us to have the same fair shake that you have. All this stuff. You don't want that, but you want to be cool with us, so you want to appropriate us, but not like no. I totally. I'm tired of the cultural appropriation were things that are typically come from the Black culture, Afro-American culture, that white women or white men do, and then all of a sudden it's cool and they started a trend, and it's stuff that we've been doing for God knows how long. So I just get tired of that it's deemed cool once someone non-Black does it, but we've been doing it and we're looked down on it, but when they do it, it's high fashion or it's the new
exactly.
I'm
even
just like,
even our slang words. And yes, I totally agree. And with these younger kids, such as the millennials that I said are very ignorant and don't know, they don't know. And that's only because
they know they do. That's the thing though. That's giving them the pass. A lot of these kids actually do know.
A lot of them do, and a lot of them don't.
But a lot of them do.
A lot of them do. I agree.
A lot of them do, and they willfully do it.
No, yes, a lot of them do know, but there's a lot of them who don't know, and there's a lot of Black kids
that do.
80%. It might be 80% of them who do know, and I totally agree with that. And even our Black kids, they don't. Some of them they just don't know. Like they just grow up clueless. And these days, all they are worried about.
Some of them don't know, and a lot of them don't care.
And a lot of them don't care. And a lot of them, all they care about is smoking weed and playing video games. And they are in this bubble where it is so sad till they they lost. They're just lost.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Oh, go ahead, Joanne.
Oh, no, go ahead. You were going to say something.
No, I just said I totally agree with Eve as well. Totally.
Yeah, well, I hope we can all come together and, and continue to stick our commitment to creating a more of an inclusive future together, So, yeah, I really, really hope that this football player definitely learns his lesson, and I hope that he can show others that we all can do better. We all fuck up sometimes. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes that we're aren't even aware of.
Amen.
You're right.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us in addition to honor Black History Month. And we hope you enjoyed today's episode. And as always, we love to hear about what you guys think about the topics that we discussed. Let us know in your reviews or in the comment section and down below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell if you listen to podcasts on YouTube, or subscribe to this podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. We have been your hosts, and until next time, everyone. Bye, guys.